The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I am your host, JB the Sports Guy. We got a great show for y'all tonight. Later on in the show, Gramblingstate's play-by-play guy, Santoria Black, will be joining us. And if you just saw the comeback from Grambling State to win this first-round matchup over Montana State, you saw a great ball game. Grambling moving on to the second round to play Purdue. So Santoria Black's going to join us. We got more to talk about. And also, Archbishop Shaw's running back, four-star running back, Jasper Parker, will be joining us in a little bit, right around 8:10, 8:15. He's going to join us. I'm joined by my good friend, the one and only, George Peppers. What's up, GP?
I'm doing fine, JB, and yeah, what an incredible comeback by Grambling. Because that first half, Montana State, if you watch the Big Sky tournament, they were averaging in the mid 80s, winning that tournament. And the way that first half played out, I thought, oh, the Grizzlies are going to be a tough catch from here. But credit that Tiger team to just being digging in and being resilient. Heck of an effort. It's a very tall task now against Zach Edey and Purdue, but still, the fact that they've got an NCAA tournament win in their very first game ever in
Yes.
the NCAA tournament. Let's not forget, these are five seniors that lost the SWAC final last year, and they had it on their mind to get here, and not just get here, win. They've gotten that. Now, whatever happens with Purdue, look, I got Purdue winning the national championship. I made that point prediction. If they knock them out, then my bracket's pretty much toast.
Yeah.
But still, if anything that Grambling does from here is kosher. I mean, they've gotten what they've wanted, a win in the tournament. And congratulations to that group and the testament to hard work. Great work.
Without a doubt. I mean, man, this is good. We have two Louisiana teams still in it. Of course, we have McNeese that plays tomorrow. Grambling will play again on Friday.
Yep.
I was told Kofor was the guy for Grambling State, and I was told that Kofor, barely was a scorer in previous games for Grambling State, from what somebody told me. And the way he stepped up today was just huge. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, 4 minutes against Bama State, 0 points. 8 minutes versus Purdue, 7 points. And Texas Southern didn't play. But tonight, Kofor was the man. And you can't say nothing bad about how he played and how he put this team on his back tonight, George.
No doubt about it. I mean, he had when you give a guy a run and he produces like that, hey, look, again, I'm happy, I'm ecstatic that Grambling won because that's Louisiana. That's a Louisiana school. Does it portend another upset, perhaps? McNeese State tomorrow against Gonzaga? Maybe. I mean, it'd be good. I mean, look, Louisiana took one on the chin last night. LSU getting knocked out of the NIT by North Texas. All right, Charles. Oh, really? Okay, I want to know who you got. I got to see who this man got. Don't pull a VK and pick Long Beach State. I'm just throwing that out there. But come on, Charles Allen. The onus is on you, my boy. Purdue's winning this championship. I think it's going to be a great tournament. We said that last night. And look, as far as the show, you can check us out on the hashitoutshow.com and through all our socials. All of us and myself, Crescent City Sports, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, JB, the same. I mean, we're all over. And the hashitoutshow.com, we've got game footage, we've got previous shows archived, got a lot to go. And tonight's going to be another in the book. This is episode 131, I think.
131. Yes, sir.
See, unlike your other co host, I keep count. But that's that John Eric. That's that John Eric mathematician, sir. So just
Ah,
saying,
yes.
somebody forgot about 100, but 69 away from 200.
Yes, sir.
Before you know it. The only thing I have a point of contention, ladies and gentlemen, is that hat my host is wearing tonight. I mean, being a beloved Michigan fan, we got the national title, but he's wearing that silliness on his head. I don't know if it might affect his brain power. I don't know. Connecticut, come on, man, you got to be braver than that, Connecticut. Oh, I gotta see this bracket. But Connecticut, come on, bro. Are you picking the favorite?
Don't
Really?
hate. Don't hate, man.
No, I ain't hating. I mean, look, I get it. They're the favorites to win it for sure. But come on, man. Live a little. Live a little.
Uh, Jasper Parker will be joining us in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen.
Hmm.
But let's talk about Archbishop Shaw right quick and the job Hank Tierney has done these past 2 seasons, quarter
Hmm.
2022 and semifinals in 2023. What are your thoughts on the job Hank Tierney has done?
You're not surprised. You shouldn't be. Hank has won everywhere he's been. He built the culture at Shaw, then he left went to West Jeff, then to Ponchatoula, and look what he did with Ponchatoula. West Jeff, the successes didn't really follow him there. I mean, it was a middle of the road kind of team, but at Ponchatoula, he got to the state championship a couple of years ago. They did lose, and was it? Oh goodness, Jesus! Oh, Zachary.
Zachary,
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah, Zachary, and your boy, the quarterback, the star quarterback, Eli Holstein.
yeah,
That was him. Yeah, they Ponchatoula was resilient, and Tierney, his last 2 years, your defense has to improve. I really feel like your defense has to markedly improve for 2024 to take that next step and get to the Caesar Superdome. That's got to be a big component. Jasper Parker is going to be a senior this year, right?
that's
And
right.
he's got to be the alpha dog. We already know what he can do offensively, but he's got to be that dude and say, "Look, let's go, boys. Let's rock and roll. We got a chance to really be special." Schedule's pretty daunting one too. When you look at Shaw's opponents, I mean, St. James shows up on the schedule. You got
It's
oh
in
goodness,
the car. The first game's
and the
in the
cards on
car.
that schedule. And that game
Yeah,
is at Berman. Is that Shaw? Or is that Berman?
it's at Shaw.
So is that Shaw?
It's at Shaw. Yes.
Hmm. But I like what Shaw's going to bring going into this year. Um, they've got a chance to be really, really good. And look, taking the alumni hat off, JB, I think Shaw is one of those contenders that can get to New Orleans, and maybe we on the call for one of those games. I just
Hey,
put
hey,
that out. That
hey.
would be awesome.
That would be great. That would be great.
I
Oh,
mean, we were, it would be fun if the doubleheader was
I have
Shaw and then Eric.
I have to ask Ken, like Ken, hey, let me be on the sideline for the Shaw game, but I'll
Oh,
call
here you got
other
that.
games for you. But I'm gonna say this about Shaw right quick. Offensively, they lost Raymond Howard and they lost one receiver. I think Cameron Bolden Maroney is his name. Hope I
Hmm.
hope I didn't mess that up. So lost a left tackle, lost a wide receiver. Everybody else comes back. Everyone else comes back on the offense. Now defensively, that's a different story. You got to replace 3 defensive linemen. You lose Jaden Scott, you lose Trevor Whitted, you also lose Kylis Francis. You got to replace your entire defensive backfield, 2 safeties and your 2 corners. Your question is Rontre Carter, who's probably your best defensive player, and he's going to be a sophomore. The question is, do you leave him at linebacker? Do you move him to nickelback? Do you move him to free safety? That's a question they
Hmm.
have to answer. Jaquan Carter, he was coming in nickel and dime packages, mainly dime packages last year, but he played a lot.
Hmm.
he's gonna take one of those safety positions. So they have holes to fill on defense this year. You got to replace a lot, a
You
lot.
do. You do, but let me put this in there into perspective. I think this is a team offensively is going to absolutely dominate early and let the defense catch up and let the defense grow. You may get into some shootouts early in the season. I mean, you already mentioned week one and the car. It's in your house, but car, we know what Bryce and the boys are going to bring. So y'all got to come with it for 48 minutes in that game. With that being said, you do have a challenge against St. James later in the season. St. James, yeah, they're going to replace a lot, but they're still St. James. You
That's
know,
right.
that's still a very daunting program and a daunting group of talent. But I think this is a team that offensively is going to be steps ahead of the defense early. And I
Oh,
think
without
the
doubt.
defense, and I think defensively they will grow as the season progresses. That and what you want to see is improvement. And
Yeah,
if that happens, but under the guise of Hank Tierney, I feel like that the profit the thing there about their defense is that it's going to catch up. I feel
without
like
doubt.
y'all gonna be better as the season progresses. Early, like I said, offensively, y'all gonna be a juggernaut. Y'all gonna be that all year. But defensively, they're gonna have to do some things. Now, you know, people are gonna listen to us and say, "Well, St. Thomas More rang them up for 60. What was it? 63 points in the semifinal,
No, no, 69.
something like that." I mean, it was a long night for all of
Yeah,
us, but yeah, and you're like, well, they're replacing all that, and they still got rung up. Hold up, that's STM, three-time state champions. Calm down. I mean, let's get a reality check here. Shaw is going to be a contender for a lot. Division 2 is going to be lit again. No Lafayette Christian this time, so that's one head of the table out the way. So we'll see what happens going forward into the season.
most definitely. Everybody, we are going to take a quick commercial break. And when we return, we will be joined by Archbishop Shaw's running back, Jasper Parker, right here on the Hatch It Out Show.
Randolph, head coach of the Hahnville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching the Hash It Out Show.
You're watching the Hash It Out Show!
They're all confused. Keep pumping. Go Jasper.
Archbishop Shaw, we back, baby.
Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I am JB, the sports guy, joined by my good friend George Peppers. And now, this guy here, the starting running back for the Archbishop Shaw Eagles, and he is one of the hottest recruits in the nation, one of the most sought after recruits in the nation, the one and only Jasper Parker. Jasper Parker, thank you for joining us, and how you doing?
Thank you for having me on. I just appreciate you guys. I appreciate the introduction and a few clips. I'm excited to be on here with you guys. I was watching a few, and you guys touched on some very big points. So just thank you for having me on.
No problem, no problem. I hope nobody from Rumble saw to give him some motivation towards next season. But anyway, Jasper, what?
Uh-oh.
He's fine. He's right there. He's good.
Oh, okay.
What is it that got you into playing football? Oh, we actually lost him. Let's see if we get him back. See?
But while you're
Speaking
trying
of Rumble,
to,
there he is. All right. Can you hear me, Jasper?
all
Yes,
right, sweet.
a coach actually just FaceTimed me. I'm sorry.
You're good. All right. So what was it, or who was it that got you into playing football?
It was probably my older sibling, my older brother. Ever since a young age, he got out there and started playing football. When I was 5 years old, I seen him out there playing football with Terrytown. So when I was 5, I begged my dad to try to get me on the field, and the coach finally allowed me to just get on the field and wear a helmet. So from then, I've been sleeping with footballs till the age where I figured my mom just told me it was dirty and stop sleeping with a football. So I would say from the age of 5, I've been in love with football.
What playground did you start playing football at? Or who did
Uh,
you play for?
Originally it was Terrytown Playground, but that was only for 1 year, my 5-year year. But from there, I took a year off football because I moved houses. Then I played for Nicholson Playground, and I would say that's my home playground. That's my park. That's what I played for. Growing up, a lot of my best friends to this day, we played at that playground together. So Nicholson Playground.
Oh, Coach Colin Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed, man. Small world, small world. So, how has it been playing football for Archbishop Shaw?
Just playing for Archbishop Shaw under Coach Hank. It's been a blessing. I mean, I learned more things in 1 year than I could ever imagine. Just being in this environment with such a competitive football program under a football connoisseur, like one of the greatest coaches that ever coached in Louisiana, Coach Hank. It's just been great. A better environment with teammates, and being able to win with those guys has been incredibly fun.
I want to go back to last season a little bit. Started off the year against St. Charles Catholic, lost, beat West Jeff, lost at Kincaid. But let's get to the Rummel game. Do you feel that the game against Rummel was your breakout game?
I would say so. I would say the game against Rummel. I mean, it was a lot of emotion from all the players, alumni. I mean, you went to Shaw. We know how big it was to you. So just getting on the field, I had an extra big chip. I always play with a chip, but I had an extra big chip because I was coming in here. People were questioning, man, will he fight for Shaw like all alumni did? He's been here for only a few months, so I definitely had a lot to prove, and I definitely feel I broke out that game.
Last season, Shaw got to the semifinals, of course. Didn't turn out the way that you guys wanted it because, of course, the expectation is to get to the state championship game. But what do you recall being the greatest moment of the season last year?
I would say the greatest moment just had to be that Archbishop Rummel win. It probably wasn't so much as the Archbishop Rummel win. It was the after effect. We had a drought. It'd been 12 years, I believe, 12, 13.
14.
13 since we beat Rummel. So it was just it was a big moment for everybody. I mean, the game is one thing. You want to win ball games every Friday, but it was the week leading up to the school trash talk. The environment we were in. I went to work out a few places. People trash talking. Man, you ain't never beat them. So it was just fun. I seen a few of my seniors cry. So it just know it meant a lot. And I just know I was happy enough to make them have last game against Rummel.
To the alumni, that win there was just so important. Just the drought of us losing to Rummel all of those years, and finally to get that megaphone back home, yes, home on the West Bank, was just magnificent in itself. Florida State was one of the first big schools to offer you. Then after that, boom, your recruitment just shot like a bottle rocket. How have you been able to deal with recruiting the way it has happened so far for you?
So originally, I mean, of course, it's a real feel. It's just a real feeling. Just seeing all your hard work finally pay off. Just being able to be put in that position has been great. But as of right now, I've just been soaking it up. But like immediately when it happened, I'm in shock. Of course, but like me and my family, we quickly hopped on to get back grounded and begin to break down and build relationships with the schools that have took their time to offer me and develop relationships with the staff. So we started I began to like talk to the coaches and actually find similar interests, the way they run their offense, the way they attack the game of football. So it's been a process, and I'm looking forward to the spring visit. So it's definitely been a journey.
You just mentioned spring visits. What visits do you have coming up?
I'll be. Oh, y'all gonna hear first. I was just about to post a tweet. I'll be in Miami this weekend. So my first spring visit while I'm on the road. I fly out to Miami 3:30 Friday. So yeah, Miami's gonna be a visit. I have a visit in April. My official visit scheduled to Stillwater, Oklahoma State. I'll have a few other visits. I'm gonna be in Auburn, towards the end of this month. I'm going to Florida State, of course. That's a few of the schools I can name off the top of my head. But I definitely have a lot scheduled. I'm going to be on the road a lot this spring.
Most definitely. I wanted to go through this list right here. And these are not all of the offers, but these are most of them. Alabama, Arkansas State, Auburn, Baylor, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Houston, Louisiana Tech, Miami, Michigan, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Penn State, Southern Methodist, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Tulane, and even USC. Man, this is very, very amazing. Ask you one more question, then I'm gonna pass it on to my co-host George Peppers. Are there any schools that haven't offered you yet, but they are showing a lot of interest in you?
Yes, sir. Schools like LSU, my hometown. That's one of the biggest ones. It's a big what if. It's like a lot of people are asking me. Other coaches are like, why hasn't LSU offered you yet? Like they talked to me about it, and we know they're looking at a lot of guys, but they've definitely been texting me, talking to me, calling me, trying to get me up there for visits. So I would say LSU. And also a school that's took early interest into me right now is Florida. A lot of their coaching staff has followed me, and I have been in contact with them. So those been two of the big schools that have been looking to reach out and learning more about me as a player.
Everybody that's watching, please click that subscribe button. George Peppers, go ahead, my friend.
I got you. Jasper, first off, thank you for taking the time for joining us. And it's about to get busy for you here in this spring, isn't it? For these
Yes,
recruiting visits. And I noticed a common theme in the first four visits that you mentioned, and they're all offensive based head coaches, coaches that tend to play a wide open style of offense. Is that a key component of what you're going to be looking for in your collegiate choice?
Yes, sir. I like to consider myself a layer back. So any coach that has a great offensive minded, I look to reach out to them and get close with them because I know that's going to take me the farthest. So yes, sir.
All right. And I wanted to ask you about Coach Hank Tierney. What has he meant to you as a person? As a coach, we know what he's done for you as a coach, but as a person, what has he meant to you as a person?
Coach Hank has been a mentor to me. Just talking to him in the mornings, talking to him after games, after losses. He doesn't even talk about football a lot, and that's a lot of people. Of course, Coach Hank loves football. He wouldn't be still doing it. He's more than proven as a coach. I think he looks more now to impact players personally, and that's exactly what he's done for me. Just even when I got hurt mid-season, he was not worried about football at all whatsoever. He was worried about my mental health, how I was healing up, not healing up to play games, but just healing up to be better for the things that held in the future that him or me didn't know. So Coach Hank has been like a tremendous role model, a big guy I looked up to. I learned so much from him in a few months than I did most adults in my life. So I just been thankful to have him.
Now, Jared mentioned about the Rummel game. I want to bring up the wild part about it. How much did that smack talk going into the game? Because we heard it. Jared, my host, got abused on social media. There were people talking noise about how Rummel was going to own Shaw. How much of that smack talk drove y'all to say, you know what, doggone it, that's enough. We're gonna take this megaphone back.
Well, it was so big to us, man. Even Coach Hank came in the tunnel before the game. It was so big. This game just meant so much. Just not even because of everything, but because of them themselves. They talked a lot of trash talk. They were conceited. They gave us fuel for the fire. So just all the smack talk before the game just fueled us. When times like when it was a shootout back and forth, it just
Right.
fueled us. Recap, we would say, guys, this is exactly what they wanted, but we just had to lock in on a different level.
I was able to watch one of your games last year. I went to the game against Belchase, and I remember standing behind the end zone. And for some reason, and Jared, you were in the stands that night. I remember Belchase's players as a man just coming on and stomping on y'all logo. And Coach Hank was standing right by me. And next thing I hear is, "Y'all see this? Y'all see this?" Did that kind of light a spark on y'all? Because y'all destroyed Belchase that night.
Of course, we just came out, and when they did that, that's just extremely disrespectful. I don't think we do that to them, and so anything we wouldn't do to your guys, we would take it as disrespect. So Coach Hank took it as a personal shot. Coach Hank loves the school of Shaw, so just stepping on that ego was deeper than football at that point, and we definitely had something to prove that night.
It looked like a backyard brawl, and y'all won it easy. You do play good. You're a pretty good basketball player too at Shaw. Obviously, your recruitment is in football, but do you plan on playing multi sports, or are you going to just focus solely on football when you go to the collegiate level?
Just probably most likely just football at the collegiate level. I mean, basketball has been a second passion of mine. But I think I'll just hone in on football as I feel like my journey has now. I feel like God's path has just put me in the lane of just
Mhm.
football. So most definitely, I'll probably just be focusing on football and just my academics and football. And
Now you're pretty good. You're a really good running back. Like I said, I've gotten to see you play. You're really really good. Who do you pattern your game after? Is there somebody you look up to, like great running backs in the past, whether it be in state, whatnot, NFL or whatnot? Who do you pattern your game after, and who do you look up to as a running back?
just as a running back, I like to pattern my game and like pull stuff out of different players' games. So like lately, I've been like trying to get real twitchy with my specific movements, being able to move inside of the gaps better. But just based off of power game, I mean, just looking at Derrick Henry, I watched his historic Heisman run. Just pulling stuff out of his game. I watch a lot of NFL games, but I just like to go back and look at college tape and see where those players are module to me because I'm going to be in their footsteps shortly. So
Mhm.
just players like Derrick Henry and twitchiness such as like Jameer Gibbs in college and Alvin Kamara in college. Those guys are smaller, but like they're only a few inches shorter than me, and they can move like no other. Like they're quick off the steps, so I just like to model my game and pull games from different perspectives.
I was actually going to give up another running back to you and pattern you to me. The what I see in you, I see a little bit. You're a bigger version of Marshall Falk. You got a little shiftiness to your game, and Marshall got great field vision. You as well, and that's kind of where I see you. And that's a Hall of Famer. And I'm not trying to put no undue pressure on you by any means necessary. I mean, you're just in high school, going into your senior year. Um, your senior year, your 2024 schedule. Let's look ahead. Edna Carr comes to you, week one. You know the resume, you know the pedigree. That's obviously a huge, huge game for you guys to get off to a good start. What are you guys gonna have to do? I know it's only March and it's a long way to go, but we know what Carr's gonna be when they get to you. What are you guys gonna have to do to pull that thing out?
We know Carr, we know their tenacity, we know their energy level is always second to none. We know the people they've produced, we know the coaching staff. I mean, it's just tremendous everywhere over there. We know their weight program. So what we have to do is match their intensity. So this is before the Friday night. This is before we just have to be honed in the off season, hitting the weight room, taking everything to like the top of what we can do. We just have to develop it to the best we can, and I'll try to do the best as I can as a leader. And and look, when the time has come, I'm gonna get a dog some dog food, and that's what they are. Carr, they the cats, we the dogs. We gonna be the dogs that night. But yeah, I just think we have to really lock in. I mean, we gotta keep our mental level. My mental capacity has to grow. We lost a lot of seniors on defense, so my mental capacity definitely have to grow, and we just have to be mature about this game because we know how big it's going to be.
I feel like you guys offensively are going to be a juggernaut early. Is it an accurate statement from your perspective that your defense is going to, I don't want to say be behind, but I think your offense is going to have to carry things until your defense gets some growth?
I got the most trust in the defense. I mean, I know we lost some older guys. Of course, we
Yep.
lost Lewis Foster, Jaden Scott. Those were key guys for years in our defense. But I think behind those guys was people that was the players that always wanted their shot. We got young DBs that's got fresh legs under them. I don't think our defense is going to be much behind because we also got a new D coordinator who's played against this car offense. So I mean, I think pairing that with the guys that want to get better and work to win. I think we're going to be fine, but our offense, we are looking nice.
What was the message after the game against St. Thomas More by Coach Tierney? Disappointing end. What was the message for this year to you guys after that ball game? And it was played in undue weather conditions, whatever be as it may. But St. Thomas More did what they did. What was the message by Coach Tierney to you guys afterward in advance of this season?
Coach Tierney, he said, we're going to grow a lot. He said the year before that we lost. We lost the game before. This year we lost in the semis. It's only the only way we've been going is up. He just basically told us that this wouldn't happen again, and I can hold his promise because he's always kept his promises. So I just know he just said keep your head screwed on tight, and we're gonna be right back in this situation next year, and I fully trust him. So he said we have to work twice as hard so this never happens again.
So I assume that based on projectiles, Shaw's going to be playing for a state title this year, right?
You heard it here. Yes, sir. We're going to get
And obviously, that's the end game is to get to New Orleans and play in a Superdome. What would it mean to you to play for a state title in your senior year?
I mean, it would mean the world. I mean, I never understood how big it was. I mean, just being a freshman at times. I played in the state championship my freshman year. Just seeing that at times, it was like, man, what are these seniors so emotional for? What are these guys doing it for? And it's deeper than that when you've put 5 hard years in and you don't know if you're gonna play the next year. I don't know if I'm gonna play the next year. I have an opportunity, but I don't know how life's gonna fall. So I just know that if I can get to the highest level that I am at right now, it'll be amazing. And I would love to get a ring and get another title for the school.
It would be a really good thing. I'm a John Ehret grad myself, and I'm a supporter of West Bank schools. You know, schools on the West Bank, and hoping and wishing you guys the best of luck. My last question: uh, there are two recruiting period signing days, one in December and one in February. Are you a fan of that, or do you just would rather just pick a day, or you just would rather have one signing day? This will be my last question.
I'm a fan of the signing day it is right now. The two signing periods, it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. It gives guys that think they're ready time to be ready, and then also gives those guys who need to develop more a little bit of time. So I kind of like it the way it is now. I heard they're like messing with it right now, actually trying to do some different things. But right now I feel like it's in a good position. So I like the two signing days.
A couple more questions, Jasper, and we'll get you out of here. Next year, you're a senior. You will be a senior leader. You're going to be a senior captain. But what kind of leadership qualities will you be able to show to your fellow teammates?
Well, hard work. So I like to lead by example. So I like the hard work. I'm a workhorse. I mean, and our guys will be workhorses. We're gonna be men. We're gonna be men about it, unemotional, just work and getting better every day. Also a great teammate. Keep everybody in high spirits. I mean, last year I feel like we held up mentally, but we could have been a lot stronger mentally. Just being a team leader, being a more vocal leader. I mean, coming in my first year, I mean, I just seen how those seniors they held themselves accountable, and I don't plan to pick up any slack. In fact, I plan to do it better. I mean, just being a senior, it means so much to me that those guys, not that we don't only win football games, but we develop as men over the years. So I just feel like we're gonna make everybody better.
Last question. We talked about you playing park ball at Terrytown, then at Nicholson. You being a senior come next season, what advice would you give to any young football players that's playing at a Nicholson or a Terrytown or Kings Grant?
Just trust the process. I mean, it's not always gonna be easy. I mean, it's not always gonna be hard, but don't take the losses as losses. Just take them as lessons. I mean, I had a lot of losses. I didn't lose much in my park ball days, but when I did lose, those were the hardest ones because nobody was watching. It was just you, and you only can hold yourself accountable. Like these big games, you get praised even if you lose sometimes. But back then, if you lost, I went to elementary school with some of the kids I lost to. So it just meant a lot, and always play with a chip.
Most definitely. Jasper Parker, good luck to you next season, my man. And also remember, near the banks of Old Man River. I'm not thinking the whole thing, but you get it. Thank you for joining us, Jasper. We truly appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Acres down.
That's right. Jasper Parker. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like we said, George, 4-star running back. Once Florida State offered, it just pow.
Snowball.
It snowballed. Everybody came offer Jasper. And like I said, the Rummel game, I thought that was the game breaker where we saw his true skills. True running back, can hit the hole, he can make a cut, has good vision, and you cannot say nothing bad about Jasper Parker as a player, as a person, and right now he's putting on himself to be that leader that's going to take Shaw further than they've
I
been in
mean,
a long time.
if we believe in trajectory, Shaw should be playing for a state title this year. I mean, what was it? Quarterfinals last 2 years ago,
Yep.
semis last season,
Yes.
championship this season. Now you just got to win it, right? I mean, that was. I wanted to ask Jasper, and I don't know how it goes with because you went to Shaw. When the megaphone came back to campus, did they give players a chance to take the megaphone to the house, or they could just keep it at the school?
It's kept at the school. Everybody,
Okay.
trust me, they all got to hold it, take
Oh, I'm
pictures.
sure.
Look, I would take a picture with it.
I know. I know. And with your hash it out show shoot shirt too.
That's right.
Absolutely sporting the teamwork, baby.
That's
But yeah,
right.
it's a good thing. No, but it was so cool to see y'all win it finally. And then the Rumble guys and look, our good friend Cole, who does 1008. I remember that I forget the Rumble player that went on his show talking all kind of noise, and I was like,
We're not gonna
I
say his
got,
name. It's okay.
I was
Look,
like, I got
they
with
talk
you. I said,
noise.
bro,
That's part of it. It's part of it.
it's a
Nobody's mad
beautiful
with him,
thing.
but it
But I
did.
remember
It
asking us
motivated
like,
Shaw so much.
I remember asking us, like, dude, y'all not gonna put up with this nonsense, are y'all? Not tonight. Not tonight, because we were, I forgot, we were at East St. John that night, I think, me and VK.
Yeah.
And that was a filling game because that's when all that stuff happened with Carver.
Right.
And we
Right.
had East St. John and Thibodeau. And y'all were and you were obviously at Shaw. And, we tracked that game that whole night. I remember I was like, all I thought was, man, my friend's going to get the megaphone back. It's a beautiful thing. 2 years ago, should have got it. You shouldn't have opened that cell phone and started talking. I'm just, saying, you shouldn't open that cell phone. Just it's a funny
No,
story, insider
they should
joke,
have went.
guys.
Should have went for it on 4th and 30.
Well, that's a different regime. This isn't Hank coaching. This was, and look, no disrespect. And the
Definitely not.
defensive coordinator, isn't it Martha Scoble?
No, Arthur Cole was at Hornville.
Hornville. Who's your DC?
He brought he went and got Brother Martin's defensive coordinator.
Oh, okay. I
I
didn't
don't
even know
I,
that.
I don't know his name.
I didn't even know that they got a new defensive coordinator at Shaw. But look, Jasper is a very grounded young man. He
Yeah.
seems like a very grounded young man and understands the singular focus, but also understands the broader focus of the team itself. And that's a refreshing thing to see about a young man like that. I don't want to say he's a throwback mentally. I mean, attitude wise, he is a throwback because now you got kids that are all about the stats, all about themselves. Nah, Jasper. I don't think Jasper Parker's
No,
about that.
not at all.
Not the way he conducts himself. He's a very grounded young man, and I think he's going to do great things this year. See what happens. What does it translate for Shaw? But at the collegiate level, I just prayers that his decision is on point, that he does what he has to do and goes where he's most happiest. But I felt like there was an accurate question that the first four visits are coaches that are offensively wide open: Mike Gundy, Hugh Freeze, Novell, and Miami Cristobal, Mario Cristobal. Coaches that play wide open games. Um, I just thought it was a little bit of a pattern. So, I mean, at the end of the day, good luck, Jasper. We're gonna be rooting for you this year, especially Jared. I mean, it's alma mater, man. I
Of
mean,
course.
got a shot at a state title, so we'll see.
I'll say this. I know you said you think he patterned his game is similar to Marshall Falk, but I really think he's very similar to Alfred Blue from Hornville.
I agree.
That went to LSU. I think
Yes,
it's
sir.
very similar. Alfred
Hmm.
Blue was just probably an inch and a half taller, but I think it's very similar to Alfred Blue. If you look at some Alfred Blue highlights when he played at Hornville and LSU, I
Oh,
think you'll see Jasper Parker without a doubt.
it seems like a carbon copy,
Yeah.
really. At the end of the day, Alfred. But the reason I mentioned Falk was because of the twitchiness and his shiftiness,
Uh
and how
huh.
he's able to to elude guys. And a guy his size, he's a little bigger version of Marshall Falk.
6'1",
Falk was
205.
what?
My goodness.
Huh?
He's 6'1", 205.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's legit back. That's legit back speed. Falk was what 5'11", 5'10",
I'll say 5'9".
5'9",
Yeah.
5'9", 5'10", something like that.
Hmm.
And what about buck 85, buck 90, 200?
I'll give him 200.
I mean, I could give him that, but
210. Yeah.
just his field vision, and yeah, the Rumble game was his breakout. And I mean, we're gonna see. We're only in late March. Spring just came a few days ago, so we get to see the practices coming up, and then before you know it, we're gonna be having Hash It Out Show game of the week.
That's right. But there is a spring game coming up,
Yes, sir.
and you know who they play, right?
No, I do not.
What school you went to again?
Oh, John Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, so we have to beat y'all brains in again. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
y'all ain't beating our brains in.
We're not doing all
Stop with,
that.
you can start with all that.
First of all, I'm not going to run smack on a spring game. Before we get out of line here, we're not going to talk all that noise
We
about
did, yeah, we didn't do it last year. We didn't talk no smack on the spring game.
no,
We didn't.
but we just hope that any game like spring games. Look, last year you guys went to the game with Aaron and Carver. Remember they had the scrimmage at
Yep,
West Jeff
scrimmage.
when all that
Yep,
was
scrimmage. Yeah,
when all that foolishness happened
yeah, most
over there.
right.
So let's hope none of that stuff happens. Obviously, and I don't want to put a ball on it or nothing like that. But Aaron Shaw, when is that spring game? JB date wise.
I gotta find out. I really don't know right now.
All right, because I'm gonna actually look to see if I'm off.
Did we lose George Peppers? Did we
Here.
lose? Oh, there he is.
No,
You
I'm
did.
here.
All right.
I was actually going to the calendar trying to hurry up and look. But if you get me a date, I'll let you know if I'm off. And that game is gonna be at Shaw.
Shaw or West Jeff Stadium.
Well, either or.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll see.
And then hey, look, we do hash it out show games of the week. My fan base will be back this year. We might do one of their games again.
Yeah,
Patrick Taylor. Yeah.
Dr. Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I
go
really want to.
following, baby.
I really want to do the Shaw St. James one.
I
That,
do too.
yeah, that'd be perfect.
And that game is at St. James, so
Yes.
opportunity will not. But that's something we'll have to commiserate and get together and put
Oh,
this
without a
thing
doubt.
together.
You know it.
And we'll pick the games. We can't let VK pick them because he picks games like he's picking the NCAA tournament. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and he's on assignment. He's actually on ESPN Plus right now. Nichols and Louisiana Tech playing baseball tonight at Didier Field in Thibodeau. That's why VK is not with us tonight. But we
How, how
obviously.
dare how dare VK last night? I got
Oh yeah,
a special announcement. I won't be on the show tomorrow. I'll be calling Nichols and you know on ESPN Plus. How dare you try to take away our audience to go watch Nichols and them and you? How dare
and
you? VK?
and look, no disrespect to Nichols and Lotzek at all. No disrespect. This
Oh,
is just a
Lotech. I'm
little
sorry, Lotech.
poking
Yeah.
fun. I
Yes.
mean, look, and I know that's not the intent, but VK before that, uh, you know, look, we had a little running joke last night. We previewed the NCAA tournament, and he pulled out Long Beach State over Arizona. Well, I kind of messaged him. I said, "Dude, is there a pep rally today that you're gonna fire them up to try to win that game?" And he didn't answer. So,
Uh, good. It's good that he didn't answer. But much love to VK on ESPN Plus tonight, calling the
yep.
Nichols versus Louisiana Tech game. We are waiting
Hmm.
for Santoria Black to join us so we can talk about Grambling State tonight with their big victory, first
Hmm.
time ever in the NCAA tournament and first time win ever in the tournament. So we're waiting on him to join us. But I ask you this, George Peppers.
Go ahead.
Ask you this.
All
Your New
right.
Orleans Pelicans are playing pretty well right now. What are your
Hmm.
thoughts going forward? Do you think they can make a big time run deep in the playoffs, like to the conference finals? What are your thoughts right now? They're playing some good ball.
They are, and look, I am actually a Knicks fan more than I am Pelicans. I do root for the Pelicans because, again, we support all state entities, and we want to see teams in New Orleans and around the state do well. That's me. The Pelicans, I do root for them, but I'm more of a Knicks fan. But to answer your question, yes, they have played well. One of my friends at work, when they were in a little bit of a funk, was like, "They ought to fire Willie Green." I said, "Calm down. They gonna get right," and they've gotten right. They're going to have to keep going and playing the way they are now. As far as the playoffs, right now they're sitting right on the throes of the four.
Yeah.
Um, you think look if the full complement of the Clippers shows up, Kawhi, PG3, and Harden. Kawhi and Paul George have battled injuries all year long, but if that full complement is out there, that's a tough first round matchup. I still would favor the Pelicans because guess what? All the people that wanted to run Zion out of here, we yell at. That dude is playing next level basketball right now. He is absolutely dominating the last 10 games. That man is playing man child basketball.
Yeah.
He's killing people. And that is going to be a very big key component. The Pelicans stay healthy. I think they would beat the Clippers.
You
And
think
then
so?
I think so. I think, and again, Harden in the playoffs isn't exactly clutch, but he doesn't have to be. Not now, because you got George and Leonard. But if George and Leonard aren't on the floor, the other guy that I want to factor with the Clippers is Ivica Zupic. He's done pretty well for them in his role this year. He's understood his role and done well. Cleans up on the inside and everything else. The Pelicans would have not the easiest draw. Clippers round one, probably Nuggets round two, world champions.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Oklahoma City. I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
Thunder right now
Right.
are sitting at number one,
Yep.
and that's a little extraction of revenge because remember Oklahoma City embarrassed them last year here in the play-in.
Yep.
So I think the Pelicans would have a little bit of catch back on their mind. Could they beat them? Nah, I don't know about that. SGA is playing Shai Gilgeous. Alexander has been terrific this year, and that team has been terrific, and they have really grown. It's a dangerous team. The Pelicans, the modium of success, Jared, I think the ceiling they may get is to the conference finals. I don't know if they get there. It's not going to be easy, but the West is never easy. The East is lighter. The West is heavier. There's better teams in the Western Conference than there are in the East, top to bottom. Because you're looking at the Lakers and the Warriors in the play-in, they could be problematic for teams in the first round. You know, I'm not a fan of Golden State's team this year, the way they've played. I mean, they've gotten a little bit good here. The Knicks did beat them a few nights ago, and look, the NBA is down the stretch now. But the Pelicans, to call this a successful season, win the division, win two series, and maybe if they catch the right matchup, maybe go all the way and get to the final. But then that would be probably Boston if they
Yeah.
got there.
Yeah.
I mean, I still favor. Listen, I still look. I'm a Knicks fan, but objectively speaking, when that team is completely healthy, meaning Anunoby, who had an elbow flare up, when they get completely healthy, they won't because Mitchell Robinson's out for the year. They might have something for the Celtics. I'll tell you who I don't like is the Bucks. I don't like the Bucks at all because Doc Rivers is the playoff choker.
Well, I mean, he's a playoff choker, but guess what? He does have a championship.
He does. In 2008, they won it over. Was it the Lakers they beat that year? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was LA. They beat LA to win that title. Garnett finally got his ring. Pierce and all them got their ring too. So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will be joined by Santoria Black of Grambling State University. Stay right here with us, right here on the Hash It Out Show.
My name is Micah Higgins, head boys basketball coach at Bonneville High, and you're watching the Hash It Out Show. Go Bruins!
Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I am your host, JB the Sports Guy, joined by my co-host, George Peppers. We are now joined by the one and only Santoria Black. Santoria, are you there?
I am here. I'm sorry I don't have video right now. I'm driving home from a track meet, but I did not want to miss the opportunity to join you guys.
Oh, man, you are good, man. We just truly appreciate you joining us. Let's get right into it. Grambling was down by as many as 14 tonight to Montana State, and they make the comeback and win in overtime. What are your thoughts about the basketball team winning tonight?
Well, I tell you what, first of all, amazing game. Best game of his career. It was at Grambling. Of course, he's a transfer from Alabama A&M, Stephen F. Austin. He just an amazing game tonight. 17 points in the second half. I thought that Tremichael Moten did a great job in trying to take over the game. And even when they double teamed Jonathan Aku, I thought that Grambling did a great job of the dribble drive penetration. Jordan Smith just lit them up. I mean, he was able to shoot from the outside and the inside. And because Jordan Smith is 6'7", it's awfully hard to defend him, especially with their guards. You had to bring forwards out to try to guard him, and that left them inside, left them a little bit open on the inside. Defensively, I thought they played a great game, especially in the second half. They were able to turn things around after being down by 14. They were able to stop them from getting second chance opportunities. You couldn't stop Ford on the other side, three-point machine from Montana State. But, man, what a game for the Grambling. And the first year that they win their first ever SWAC tournament, they win their first ever NC2A tournament game. I think it's a great year for Grambling basketball.
Definitely. That's where I wanted to go to next because first time in the NCAA tournament by winning their first ever SWAC tournament and they get their first win. How big of a step is this for this program going forward?
I think it's a huge step. A lot of people think of Grambling as, a football school, and obviously football is the cornerstone of Grambling because of the history of Eddie Robinson and what he's done and Doug Williams. But I think that you really got to start looking at Grambling as a basketball school, a legitimate contender. Dante Jackson now in his 7th year, he's won 3 conference regular season championships in 7 years. Now his first tournament championship, and he did so by beating one of the czars in coaching, and that's Johnny Jones. I mean, just an incredible game that they had against Texas Southern on Saturday night to get into the tournament. So, to me, they just had a great run. They had a little bit of, they had a tough time with Alabama State in that first game because they had just played them, 3 or 4 days prior and actually lost to them in double overtime. So they were able to win by 6 against them. Then they beat Bethune-Cookman and shut down their shooting, and then Texas Southern. So they just had an amazing run in the SWAC tournament. And, it led to getting that automatic berth. And, look, it doesn't matter if you're in the first 4 or if you're in the last 4. The thing is, you're in the tournament.
That's
and
right.
To win a tournament game is big for any program. So I think it's it is a great stepping stone, I think, here for Grambling State University basketball.
I totally agree with you. Before I pass it on to my good friend George Peppers, Grambling will play Friday against number 1 seed Purdue. What are your thoughts about that?
Purdue has not forgotten about being beat by a 16 seed in Farley Dickinson last year.
Yes.
And so I am quite sure that they are just like, hey, y'all remember that feeling last year? You do not want to get beat by another 16 seed. So, look, Zach Eats is his last year. I think he's been there 30 years. He's been there so long. But I think that, look, I think it's going to be a great game a great opportunity for Grambling to be on a national stage again and to be able to go against one of the top teams in the country. And, look, don't forget, you just never know how a team matches up against another team. Virginia found that out. They were a 1 seed. Purdue has found that out. They were a 1 seed. You've had 2 seeds be upset. The year that Georgia Tech got beat by Southern University when Ben Jobe was the coach.
Yep.
Coppin State when they beat Iowa State. Coppin State when they won. And I believe Hampton beat Iowa State when they had Marcus Pfizer. So, it is not out of the realm of possibility when you could have a lower seed win in the first round.
Go ahead, George Peppers.
Antonia Black, first of all, thank you for taking the time for joining us. And let me echo my congratulations to the program of Grambling for a monumental and historic win tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate it.
It's no problem. But since you won here, and look, I'm on record, I have Purdue winning the national title, but if you're Grambling, why not just win the whole thing, right? Just go in and win the next 6 games, right? I mean, you won one.
Just go ahead and do it, man. Just go ahead and just
Do
win
it.
it all out.
Get
Get to
out
the
the way.
Final Four.
Make more history, right? But no, for Louisiana basketball, Grambling is in this tournament. Obviously, it's got to win now. McNeese is in the tournament too. LSU made the NIT. Talk about the state of basketball in Louisiana. Louisiana Tech had a good year, but they slipped up in their postseason tournament. You guys had a really good year. McNeese had a really good year. Talk about the state of basketball in Louisiana.
I think it's improving a lot. I will start with, of course, both Grambling teams making a postseason tournament. The women are in the NIT. They'll play tomorrow against Oral Roberts in Tulsa. Then you've got the ULM women's basketball team, which has made a huge turnaround. They get a first-round bye in the women's NIT, and so they'll play the winner of Grambling and Oral Roberts on Saturday. So it could be an all-Louisiana second round in the women's NIT between ULM and Grambling. Of course, you mentioned Louisiana Tech men's basketball. Talvin has just done a tremendous job at Louisiana Tech. They slipped up late in the year, losing to Sam Houston. And then, look, you had some great teams that you were just able to win big in the Conference USA tournament. That is the definition of doesn't matter what seed you are, you can get beat. So, look, they had a great year. LSU men, although they got beat by North Texas yesterday, I think they've had a great year. And, you can't say enough about Kim Mulkey and LSU and what they've done, just winning a national championship and trying to make another run. And boy, McNeese State, here's a team that, they had not been this relevant in basketball in a long time. And for those who don't know about McNeese State, all you got to do is say the name of Joe Dumars because he was a graduate of McNeese and played there. And so to me, McNeese State is a great story this year, great turnaround in that basketball program. So I think things are really looking up. And, you can't forget about some of these NAI teams. like LSU Alexandria. I mean, they went into the national tournament last year and played extremely well. So I think you've got a lot of great basketball in this state, and I think it's improving year after year.
And LSU, Shreveport, and Loyola New Orleans are still in the last 16 of the men's tournament. So let's see. Just adding to the argument about Louisiana basketball, is those two teams are still playing. Um, what were the emotions like when Grambling finally was able to plaster their name into the NCAA tournament? You know, it's a tradition. They pulled the bracket out, and you were able to put the logo. What was the emotions like for you as the voice of Grambling? What did it mean to you to see that happen?
I've been covering Grambling basketball for over 30 years now, and I've been to 3 conference championships, one last year, one under Bobby Washington, and of course this year. And to see this program win a conference tournament championship, I think is just incredible. We've been members of the NC2A, since the 70s, and I think it's been 46, 47 straight tournaments, and we hadn't won a conference tournament championship. And before the addition of FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, we were the only team in the conference that had not won a tournament championship. So it was just incredible. I remember the guys like Lamar Ambers and Kenny Sykes, and these guys who are just tremendous players in SWAC basketball that never got the opportunity to do it. And to see what this team has done now and how they have grown and how they just have made a name for themselves, I just think it's incredible. And you got to give a lot of credit to the Milwaukee, Wisconsin native Dante Jackson, who's a graduate of Central State, who just
Mhm.
grinds it out, and he makes a name for what he does with his coaching in defense. And that's what they've done. They haven't been the best shooting team all year, and they haven't been the best team in the 3-point line, but man, they can defend, and you saw that again tonight.
Yeah, they were down, like Jared said, they were down 14 points, and they were able to neutralize Montana State in that second half, which allowed them the ability to come back and win it. And man, it was so awesome to see. Just being a Louisiana resident, to see it, it's so awesome. Um, I want to go back to last season. You guys got to the conference championship game last year and lost, and I think it was it Alabama who beat y'all. I know y'all
Texas
beat Texas
Southern.
Southern this year. It was Johnny Jones and Texas Southern.
Yeah.
That was that the fuel, that loss that led to what we're seeing tonight. A win in the SWAC championship and a win in the NCAA tournament last year. Was that the motive, the the fuel that led to this?
Oh, absolutely. Last year, Jordan Smith, who just went off tonight against Montana State, got hurt in the SWAC tournament final, hurt his back, and couldn't play. Defensively, Texas Southern, and they shut down Cam Christian last year, who was Player of the Year in the conference. I mean, just it was really a year last year that when they went into the off season, they said, "Look, we don't want to just get to the tournament. We want to win the whole thing. We want to go to the NC2A tournament." It left a bad taste in their mouth, and they remembered that. And they were determined this year, and Jordan Smith, went through his own challenges. His father passed during the summer, and Coach Dante Jackson was just able to put his arms around him and say, look, I got you. Anything you need, I got you. And so he dedicated himself to coming back and finishing what they started. And, he came back from his back injury and just absolutely played tremendous, especially in the conference season. So I really think that this team was motivated and coming back and finishing what they started last year. And, stopping Texas Southern from four-peating, because they were going for their 4th straight
Yep.
tournament championship. And, look, Johnny Jones has won from the middle of the pack. He's won from the top of the heap. He's won from the bottom of the pack. I mean, you can't say enough about what he has done with that Texas Southern program. It's a
Oh,
team that doesn't play at home until so. For them
yeah,
to
because
three-peat is just incredible.
yeah, considering like you just said, they don't play a home game at all. They always schedule these pay play games against bigger schools, and they don't get home until late in December and whatnot. Last question before I go turn it back over to JB. Um, Realistically, nobody's going to give you guys a chance on Friday, but you have 5 seniors on that floor that are going to think otherwise. What do you think is going to be a key for Grambling to repeat what Fairleigh Dickinson did last year and what Maryland Baltimore County did a couple of years ago? What do you think is going to be a key for Grambling to have a chance against Purdue?
Look, you got to have the game of your life. You got to go out there. You can't have mistakes. You can't have an off half. You got Zach Eats, who's been just a tremendous AP All-American throughout his 12 years that he's been at Purdue, because he's been there forever, it seems like. But you really have to make sure that you have the game in your life: free throws, defense, shooting. I mean, just everything. And that's what Farley Dickinson did last year. And Purdue had no answer, and they struggled from the 3-point line. Zach Eats, as a matter of fact, was really struggling on the inside. Here's what really is going to help Grambling. Grambling is going to have to turn them into a 4-guard defense to make them come out and defend with Jordan Smith and what have you. Because if you leave Zach East on the inside just by himself defensively, eventually he's going to go into foul trouble, because the dribble drive penetration from Tremichael Moten and Kentavious and all those guys is going to start hurting them. So you have to make sure that you do your due diligence to go right at him to get him into foul trouble. I think that's the best way to beat them. Now, they've got great guards, too. They can shoot the three. We saw them struggle a little bit in the Big Ten tournament against Wisconsin. Of course, that is my home state. So I was happy to see them win. But I really think that they're going to have to make sure they have the game of their life. And I think they can do that. I mean, you got to believe. If you're in this tournament and you win a game, there's no need in not believing. You have to believe that you can do it.
Santorio, I'll get you out of here with this last question. Going to switch to football right quick. Mickey Joseph, I think it's a phenomenal hire, number one. Number two, I see the coaching staff that he's putting together. Number three, I see some of the recruits that he's bringing in to Grambling. Talk about how big of an impact Coach Joseph has been already in the short time he's been there.
If you know Louisiana football, the number one goal is you got to get New Orleans. Yes. You got to get that. You got to get the river parishes. You got to get New Orleans. You got to get that North Shore area. And if you're able to do that, you're going to have a very successful run as a football coach. With him being able to get the coaching staff that he has, I think it's just been tremendous. And, look, overall in the SWAC, you start looking at some of these coaching staffs that are coming back this year. I mean, look what Southern has done. I mean, they've got a tremendous staff coming back. They just added Fred McNair to their staff. Mm-hmm. Alabama A&M is going to have a great staff this year. So, look, there are some really talented coaches and former head coaches on staffs. Eric Dooley is a prime example, former head coach at Southern, now with Grambling again. So this is a really big year for Grambling. They've got 5 home games, unprecedented. You got Tuskegee, which is the mother institution of Gramblingstate, that'll be coming in this year. You'll welcome Jackson State this year into the yard. Alcorn coming to the yard. I mean, it is a huge season coming up for Grambling football. And I think that the main thing here is that they got the guys to go out there and to compete. They're getting some great recruits. But I just think that the main thing that they have to do is they have to take things one thing at a time. And, winning the recruiting war was the first battle. Now you got to get into this offseason battle with the summer workouts. Spring football, of course, is on the horizon, and there's a lot of excitement about that.
Santorio Black, thank you for joining us. And once again, congratulations to the Grambling State basketball team on the season they had. And good luck to them come Friday night.
Absolutely. And don't forget, Grambling's women, they play Oral Roberts tomorrow in the first round of the NIT. And again, all Louisiana second round if they can win, because they'll play ULM. So looking forward to that.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. That's Santorio Black, the play-by-play man. Or I should say the voice of the Grambling University Tigers. And look, George, big things are happening in Grambling right now. The girls basketball team in the NIT. Boys still playing in the tournament. And the football team with Coach Mickey Joseph and the splash he has made already. Hey, a lot of big things happening at Grambling State up there in Grambling, Louisiana, George.
No doubt about it. And the first thing was to hire Mickey Joseph and giving him another chance to, replicate the successes he had at the high school level, duplicate the high school level successes, with the programs that he was tasked to be in charge of. And Grambling, that's a pressure cooker, because that is an alumni and a fan base that is extremely demanding. Facts. But because of the successes of the late great Eddie Robinson and of course the legend Doug Williams, with what they did with the football program, Dante Jackson is going to have a shrine on Grambling soon
Oh, yeah.
for being the first coach to put
he
this Grambling team
he
into
get a
the NCAA
statue.
tournament.
He get
Oh
a
yeah,
statue.
and he may get the court named after him.
He
He may
might.
get the court. I mean, that's another question for another. That's another thing for another day. But staying in the present, look, we wish the Grambling women the best of luck tomorrow night against All Roberts, and it would be a sensational thing that if we could have an All Louisiana second round matchup, and people could crap on the NIT, the women's NIT, the men's NIT, but still, it's postseason. That
Mhm.
is a reward for a successful season. Slow your roll. But the football team, I'm excited to see what that's going to bring this season. Um, and I'm glad how Santoria answered the question about the game against Purdue. They would have to have, let's be honest, they'd have to have the game of their life.
He said it.
But remember, Fairleigh Dickinson's coach. What did he say last year in advance of the game? There were clips. He was like, I'm not afraid of these guys. I'm not afraid of them. They can win. And he put that belief in his players. And I'm not saying Dante Jackson won't, but this is a 7-4 animal in Zach Eady. And I don't think he's been at Purdue 12 years, like Santoria Black was saying. I mean, I know he's being sarcastic and all that. That's all good. I don't think Edie's been there 12 years. That would be a record, though. But we wish Grambling the best of luck
Yes.
Friday against Purdue. And I mean, I'll half heartedly be like, man, my bracket will die if they win because I have Purdue winning the title. And um, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, a lot of great things happen, like you said, with Grambling. I don't know what their baseball team has done to this point. I haven't followed it, but their athletic program is really starting to make strides, and it's a
Yes.
good thing.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Oh, tonight was such a great show. Such a great show tonight with Santoria Black and definitely Jasper Parker, man. This was all fun tonight.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
we will be back Tuesday and Wednesday. So we will have some guests. We're gonna have another high school football player for sure. Come Wednesday. Just waiting for permission from his head coach. I already got permission from his parents. And maybe some other high school players also. This is, get their aspects of things for next season, or if they
Mhm.
already played their last game and going to go to college
College.
to play. We'll see. But we will have guests come next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Before we get out of here, George Peppers, do you have any last words?
Well, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, best 4 days of a week of a best 4 day you can find because the NCAA tournament will kick off in earnest. Yes, the first four is going right now. Colorado and Boise are playing. That's 15-14 in favor of the Buffaloes late on in the first half. A very offensively challenged game to this point. But yeah, the tournament kicks off tomorrow in grand fashion. And about 4 o'clock, we gonna know if VK's monster upset's gonna happen because Long Beach and Arizona play at 2, and Lord, if they win, man, if they win. But that being said, whatever you do this weekend, please be safe, exercise caution. I also want to give a plug the Louisiana Derby is Saturday, and I'm probably going to be on with Ken Trahan and company on a three tailgater Saturday morning talking about the Louisiana Derby. That's at the fairgrounds. It is the last prep race in advance of the Kentucky Derby, first Saturday in May. And horse racing's my forte. So I'll
Right?
probably be doing that. Took a day off to do that too. So annuals, when you got a lot of annual, you got to use it. Yep, pick the spots, right? So I'm going to use it, but I'll be off and probably watching tournament and basketball. It's gonna be a loaded Saturday for me. So, Jared, whatever you do, be safe and whatnot. Um, and again, when we do these shows every time, it's fun stuff. And Charles Allen, you gotta grow up here, man. Stop picking favorites.
Oh man.
Step out, bro. Step
Yes.
out, man. Step out. Give me an upset or something, because I'll give you a 13. That's Sanford over Kansas tomorrow. I think that's tomorrow.
It might happen.
Um,
We'll see.
yeah, it is because McNeese is
It's
playing
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Make these plays,
Yeah,
yes.
Sanford is going to beat Kansas. I got an 11 seed in the Sweet 16. New Mexico is going to beat Baylor in the second round to get to the Sweet 16. So I'm not as desperate as you know who. I mean, we love you, VK, but we got to pick on you, man, with them extreme opinions. But Jared, it was a great pleasure doing this with you again tonight, my friend.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Like I said, we will be back Tuesday and Wednesday right here on the Hash It Out Show. Special thanks to Jasper Parker and to Santoria Black. For my co-host George Peppers, I'm JB, the Sports Guy. We'll see you Tuesday and Wednesday right here on the Hash It Out Show. Y'all take care.
My name is Trayshawn Webb. I'm a DB for Brother Martin Crusaders, and you're watching the Hash It Out Show.
Thank you for